Hello, and welcome to Cache the Line. We are back. I hope this time everything is working. So if you're in chat, say hello and let me know if there's any technical issues. They should. All the kinks should be worked out, finally. So we are at the end of May. It is the last Friday of May, and what a month. So a couple of news points to cover. First of all, July and August are coming up, and there are so many events. It's going to be a busy summer. I'm probably going to keep TGIF for July and August on hold because I've got 2 weeks in July and 2 weeks in August when I'm not here, and planning is going to be ridiculous. So we've got Cache Fest, first of all, in July, and Midwest Geobash in July. And then in August, we've got Geo Woodstock and HQ, and both of those are just a week apart, which means road trips, flying, lots of traveling. So if you're going to be at any of those events, then let me know, and maybe we can meet up, and we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about. So another quick note as well. I heard a big, huge crash of thunder a few minutes ago. So if I disappear and I've lost all power, don't go nowhere, because as soon as my computer reboots, hopefully within a few minutes, we'll be able to continue the stream. So, so don't go anywhere. If you are in chat, remember that we've got a live chat giveaway. So watch for the instructions for that. We've got a couple of special travel bugs to give away. So watch the chat and watch for the instructions, and then you could win. Cool news, we're almost at 2,000 subscribers for Cache the Line. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe in the corner. We've got monthly hangouts and videos, and a whole lot more than just videos as well. There's been projects that I've been working on day and night, pretty much, for the last while. And there's probably going to be some big news in June next month if everything goes according to plan. Now, I have a new segment. I've decided to take the Excellent Geocaching Adventures theme and make a new segment for TGI Friday, highlighting an actual excellent geocaching adventure. So let's roll that intro. That is right. Excellent Geocaching Adventures. And if you didn't know, there is a Facebook group that I've created to highlight Excellent Geocaching Adventures, which you can find at cachetheline.net/EGA. All the links and everything will be in the description after the live stream as well, if you want to get there. So first of all, the cache that I thought was really cool and relatively well themed for tonight's TGI Friday is a geocache called Harry Potter's Abenteuer. I think that's how you say it. It's sitting in Germany. It's a multi-cache. It's 5 difficulty, 3.5. It's Harry Potter's Adventures. And looking at it, it is a 18-stage multi-cache, good for 2 to 4 people, about an 8-kilometer hike apparently, 18 stages. And it says it takes about 6 to 8 hours. There's the English, or you could spread it out over a couple of days. But look at that. You need phone and internet, a QR code reader, light bulb. You need a UV light, which is awesome. 2 liters of water, an umbrella in case of rain, maybe something to eat and drink. You know, it's a long trek, and trousers could be helpful. But what I thought was interesting with this is that there is a collection of files that you need. They're all zipped up that contain information for each stage. And each zipped file, each archive, is password protected, which means this is where you have to have internet. Finish stage 1, get the password, go to download the next archive with the password that you got, and continue for each stage. So it's kind of technical, but I think the instructions are pretty good. And then this is another one that you tend to find over in the East, in Europe and that area, that for these big caches, you've got to sign in to let the owners know that you're going to be doing it, because they might want to prep and be ready in case there's any issues. So sign in on the calendar. But if we go down to some of these photos, I mean, you could just imagine it's Harry Potter, and there's going to be lots of really cool scenes and things to do at each stage. But one of the common themes in some of these photos, you've got the scarves, you've got wands, you've got a knife. There's the, like, I guess there's some of these people did it at night, so there's brooms. A lot of people taking pictures, flying in the air on the brooms, and yeah, like really nicely done. And it's got loads of favorites, and you could probably read up on some of the logs to find out just what's all involved, but they ask for no spoilers in the logs, so you got to do it to figure it out. But I mean, 18 stages is just insane. If we take a look at the stats on this one, 635 favorite points. That's a 94%. That's crazy. 94%. That's of all premium members who have completed this cache. Of 729, that's 635 favorite points. That's huge. If you are in Germany and you've done this one, comment below, post in chat. We'd love to hear your opinions, your thoughts about it, because that's got to go on the bucket list. You know what? I don't think I have done that yet. I'm going to add this right now to my must do if at any point I get to Germany. Harry Potter's Adventures. And it's 3.5 terrain. If you look at the satellite imagery, let's load up the satellite imagery. It's about 8 kilometers from this initial point, but it looks like there's a whole lot of land around, so who knows what kind of terrain you might be encountering. There's water, stream, trails, all that stuff. So if you're in Germany, go do that one and let us know. So that was this month's EGA, and if you are in the Facebook group, the Excellent Geocaching Adventures Facebook group, every month we do a little TGIF week where you can share your adventures from that month, comment on that post, and you'd be entered into a draw to win an EGA night trip path tag, which I forgot to have with me. Oh, there's just 1 second. Wasn't so far away. The EGA night trip path tag, it glows in the dark. Ooh. And so if you comment on that, you have a chance to win with your adventures. And this month we have a winner, and that winner is Nasher Cashers. Congratulations. We'll be in touch, and make sure that you get that EGA path tag ASAP. There's also a quick little update for the TGI Friday path tags. If you remember last TGI Friday Hangout, I did a guide to creating a path tag and actually created a path tag TGIF themed. And so I have shared some updates. We now have, so this was the originally submitted on the top left design. There were a couple of changes that had to be done back and forth. So we've got what they returned, didn't like it so much, submitted an updated one, and then another update, made a few more changes to the final tag that's at the bottom, and you can see that there. And that one is now in production, so hopefully that will arrive maybe within a month or two, hopefully, all things considered. And anybody who has their names on this ring, on the outer ring here, will be getting 2 of these tags as a fun little bonus for participating in last month's TGI Friday Hangout. There's always little bonuses like that, so if you are subscribed, you'll get notifications of the last Friday of every month, our little live hangout. And watch for next month's news, because hopefully it will be big. And that brings us to our main topic for this month, and that is Celestial Wizards. I love it. It's a great name. And if you know me, you love that I love creative side games to geocaching that kind of enhance our adventures. And Snag the Tag is a good one because it's an actual game of first to find. You rush out, you get the tag, claim it, and you get the partner geocoin that goes with it. And you don't pay anything but shipping if you're a finder. And creative people who hide them will actually follow the theme of that current game. And so there's a lot of opportunity to be creative. Now, usually these games are done by larger companies or organizations. They've got the money to be able to create these tags and run these games. So this one, the Celestial Wizards, was created grassroots by the UK community, privately funded, working with geoswag.com. And so our guests tonight are Ian Ledger and Scott Kirby. Let's bring them in. Hey guys, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
If hopefully the sound is good as well, so if there's any problems, then mention that in chat and we'll fix it. But if you can hear me, then I think we're good. So I guess first of all, introduce yourselves. How long have you been caching, and how many tags have you actually individually snagged?
Go on, Ian, if you would like to lead this one.
Oh, Ian, I think you are muted. Oh, yeah, your audio is. Oh,
is that better?
There we go.
Sorry about that, I forgot. Caching. Caching about 10 years now. And then with Snag The Tag, I started with the very first game for the Seattle Geocoin Fest in 2018. I was in Lille in France. No, sorry, Nantes in France, where the European Geocoin Fest was, and some of the tags were hidden there, and I tried to find them without any success. So, but I thought it was a great game, great idea. And when the next game came out, the Tag Haunts, I joined in and ran the first game in the UK.
Nice. So you've been around for a while.
Yeah.
How about you, Scott?
So I was quite late into geocaching. I actually discovered geocaching in August of 2019 whilst we were on holiday. And we obviously discovered a geocoin and a cache, and I started looking into a bit of research and looking into it. And then it was I think it was March or April when I discovered Snag The Tag when I was looking for a geocoin. And I think at the time, Snag The Tag were actually playing Mission Mammoth. And it was around about then I discovered Snag The Tag and obviously contacted Snag The Tag and said, well, how does the UK go about getting these coins over here?
Yeah, and that is an interesting thing because, yeah, like Snag The Tag is a worldwide game. And if you've been following Snag The Tag for a while, there are, it has the ability to run worldwide, but they can also create games for specific events, for regions, countries, and all that. So, being able to do that just for the UK is a nice little thing for the community.
Well, it sort of came about when I think I emailed Snag The Tag and sort of said, how do I get these coins over here into the UK? And then out of the blue, it was actually Mark Clemens just sort of messaged me and said, well, we're looking for somebody to promote it in the UK. Would you like to do it? So I said, well, sure, I'll give it a go. I managed to then convince 10 strangers who I'd never met to pay me money for the agent's coins, which was the very first UK, well, not the first UK game, but the first game that I sort of took control of, which was the first Agents 2020 game. And I convinced 10 strangers to send me money, and obviously they got their tags and coins in return. And that's sort of grew from there. We had 10 players to start off with, and obviously that grew to 20, then it was 40, and it's just sort of over the last 2 years we've gone up to sort of 515 odd members now.
Yeah, it's a nice thing. Like this game really helps organically expand, because as long as there's stuff to be able to find, then you can bring people in. Like, get out there and find it. Problem is, you got to have hiders.
This is the big thing. It's if you haven't got the hider or people that aren't prepared to sort of pay it forward, as it were, we don't have a game.
Yep. One thing I got to interject. If you are in chat and you want a chance to win a special trackable, Celestial Wizard Travelbug, then in chat post #FasRoda with your geocaching username to be entered into the drawing. for 2 travel. If you know what that is in reference to, then you might have a good chuckle with that. But there's your code. So put Fusserdot with your geocaching username so that we can contact you and make sure that we get a hold of you. And we'll do a random draw at the end of the stream for a couple of travel bugs. You got them with you? Can you show them on the screen?
Yep, I've got the 2 here. So that is what we're... Oh, sorry, there we go. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's one.
that, yeah.
I've got the other one down on the desk there. That's what you're playing for, little Mervyn Travelbug.
Mervyn. See, when you say Mervyn, I think of the movie was Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yes.
Mervyn. That is a good movie. Okay, so you guys, you can choose however you want to, but who speaks. But so you've kind of touched on it. But how many of the other Snag the Tag games have you played? You mentioned starting at Agents.
So
which is a relatively recent one.
So it started with the Agents 2020 game. Obviously, I think we had it was Agent Dawn versus Dusk at the time. That was the first one that we joined in on, and I was fortunate enough to be gifted a very limited special coin, which is where the UK Special Agent came about, and I have it here if you'd like to see it. There we go. There he is. Now, there was only, I believe, 20 of these gifted to sort of UK, volunteers, as it were, because that's what we are. We're not paid or anything like that. We are volunteers from the community that sort of threw ourselves into this. So it started with the Agents game, and I got there dusk and dawn and missed out on 3 supporters, which happened to be Lobster, Clover, and Blue Jay. And then following that, we had the Knights Templar, I believe, and again I was a hider for both of those. Following the Knights Templar, we had Sherlock, but I was both. There we go, as Ian's there showing the coins of the Knights Templar. So following the Knights Templar, we had Sherlock, of which I was both hider and finder for that one, and I managed to find my first ever tag. And then following from Sherlock, I believe it went back. I'm trying to think now. I think it went back to Agents again. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm trying to think
the list on the overlay here. We've got Templar to Sherlock, and then the hot and cold.
That was
Agents.
It. Freeze versus Burns, and then obviously No More Secrets, which is currently ongoing. And then following up that will be obviously our Celestial Wizards.
Mm-hmm. And I want to interject there. That holder that you've got for the Templar coins, that's nice. That was nicely constructed.
Yes, thanks. I made that, and I also made the one that I've got for the tag hole as well.
And so you custom shaped the inset for the skulls as well, didn't you?
Yes.
They're inset in the wood?
Yeah, they're inset inside the wood, yeah.
That's even better.
Yeah. Very
nicely done.
So it's an interesting story with that tag hunt. I think it was during the Agents Freeze versus Burns game, I actually looked on the map previously at the previous tag hunt game, and I think there was 2 tags still live on the map from 2 years previous from when Ian was doing it. And I think I put in our Facebook group, like, is anyone up in Scotland? They'd like to go and have a look for me and see if it's there. And a couple of days later, I actually got a message back, and somebody had actually found the tag 2 years later sitting in this location. Nice. And I've got it somewhere, but they actually sent me that tag hunt tag that they had found. It was, which is absolutely fantastic.
Unfortunately,
go ahead.
Sorry. Unfortunately for that one, I did have all the coins, but I can't find where I placed the ones that weren't claimed. So at some point in about 10 years' time, Scott will probably get the matching coin to go with the tag.
I'm just going to highlight Mrs. Weaver's comment here. I didn't realize how much of people's personal money went into this game. You know, from a hider perspective, there's definitely personal money that goes in. Because that's how these games recuperate the cost of creating the coins. If the finders can claim them and gather them themselves at no cost to them except for shipping, then somebody's got to pay the cost. So hiders really kind of get invested in this game of Snag the Tag to make it go on. So we need to have hiders in order to hide for people to find.
This is it. It's like you say, it's you're almost paying it forward. When you buy a coin, you're not only buying a coin for yourself, you're buying a coin for two other people, two random strangers you've never met. You are buying them a coin. And so it's always nice that if somebody does find a coin, you hope that maybe the next game or the following game that they might participate as becoming a hider themselves, and in returning the favour to other individuals. And obviously, and again, that's the way the game grows.
Even if you're if you're in an area with nobody else around and you hear about this Snag the Tag game, you can opt in, be a hider, and hide them. And like you said, the tag might sit around for a year or two, or wherever the cutoff date is for claiming them. But at least they're out there, and then you can tell people, and the word will spread. And remember, if you are a hider and you buy the pack to hide, you also get one of the tags for yourself, the one that you're hiding. So you're not left out in cold if you are hiding. You do get the full coin and tag combo yourself as well. So you guys are from the UK community. How active would you say the community is? Whether it's geocaching or Snag the Tag, like, are there a lot of people that came into the community because of Snag the Tag, or are they all geocachers? Or what's the face of the community like over in the UK?
So if I don't know about where Ian is in Scotland, but sort of Snag the Tag wise, at the moment, the two biggest areas that seem to be down in the far west, down in Cornwall, and up on the east side in Essex and that sort of area. And a lot of the hiders are in those two areas, and it's almost become a turf war, if you will, who can hide the most coins in those two areas. But with regards to the caching community, I couldn't say, because I haven't been doing it long enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think most people have come that are playing Snag the Tag have come from the geocaching community. I haven't heard of anybody going the other way yet. So people have discovered geocaching, then found Snag the Tag. As Scott said, I'm in southern Scotland, about 50 miles south of Glasgow, and the vast majority of tags that are hidden in Scotland are in the central belt, so Glasgow, Edinburgh, southwards. They do go north a little bit, but not many. And the current game, the No More Secrets, there's one being hidden in Scotland so far, and that's it. So hopefully somebody's going to hang some more up here.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell, but there is definitely a community. And when I visited the UK, it was great to see the UK Mega, and to meet a whole bunch of people there. From my perspective, it seemed like an active community.
Well,
it's not Germany, but it's
we did have with the London Mega over here. I think it was 21, wasn't it, Ian?
The
London Calling.
London Calling was last year. Yeah.
We actually had an individual called another Ian who actually ran around as the orange agent trying to promote Snag the Tag, and he was actually part of the team that helped create the Celestial Wizards, and both himself and his friend Murray have been absolutely fundamental in obviously trying to get this game off the ground and sort of helping me push it amongst places. But when you had Ian running around dressed as this orange agent around London, and I had actually sort of loaded him up with tags, and they went live, and people sort of almost mobbed him for these tags. It worked well. It worked really well.
And I think the more that you are a hider for Snag the Tag in various games, the more that people kind of understand how you hide them, and that you are the person to go to. It's like, you know that there's going to be tags in some area where this person has been, where they geocache and where they've been hiding. That's where to go.
Yeah.
And Big Big Kiddo 5 says, the finding has the excitement of the chase, and the hiding has the excitement of who goes to find it. And then Daphne said, not to forget, as a hider, it's so much fun if you see the happy face of the hunter finding your tag. It's all worth it. It's especially worth it for people who love the first to finds.
Well, funny enough, you mentioned Dan there. There was a story on the community during the Bump in the Night event when the community had the Bump in the Night for last Halloween. And I believe about 9 or 10 Snag the Tag players all turned up at the same spot at once after a tag published to find the one tag. And by all accounts, it was absolute chaos with everyone running around trying to find one single tag.
We had a similar situation because Midwest Geobash had a Snag the Tag game as well. So that was just a mega event in Ohio. And same idea over the course of, I think it was 2 or 3 days, they were publishing randomly throughout the day. And if you happen to be right where it published, then great. But otherwise, if it was like way in the far corner of the field or something, you get the notification of the publish. You can see people just starting to run and gather in the far corner trying to get there first. It adds a lot of fun.
Well, talking of, let's say, with regards to the community, I think that we're lucky to have such a great UK community over here, to the point of where they've almost played games on me without my knowing. With regards to, obviously, with Snag the Tag, we all know about the profile badges, or I'd like to think we know about the profile badges we can get for the profile. Obviously, we enter a badge code or a word, and you get a profile badge. Well, when we were promoting the Freeze versus Burns game, again, we had a UK flag made up, so we were quite lucky that Mark Clemens obviously made 2 UK exclusive badges for Snag the Tag, and one of them was the flag. And in discussions, I'd given a couple of personal woodies to give to Ian, to people that the first 5 people to find this flag. He was flying above his camper van, and he said, "What? How do I know that people have seen this flag?" And I said something along the lines of, tell them the gooseberries are ripe this time of year, or something along those lines. And that then developed into another profile badge, which the community kept secret from me, with the hashtag. Scotty doesn't know.
Yeah, Scotty doesn't know.
And it was they had me going for about 3 or 4 days. I didn't realise until somebody on the main Snag Tag community said there's a new badge profile, and the penny dropped, and I thought, what's going on here? And I'd done a bit of digging, and it transpires that they'd kept this badge from me secret for about 3 or 4 days. It was brilliant, because they know as soon as a badge is out, I'm like, what's the badge? What's the badge? I'm pestering Mark, or I'm pestering the community. What is it? What is it? But yeah, so they're brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant group of people.
Yeah. Yeah, badges for your profile are, some people love them and some people don't, but it's always good to have them anyway, because, it's something else that people will rush for somehow, however you get them. Good to have that. Yeah, and so Valerie said, "Thank you, Scotty, for designing such a cool Snag the Tag Celestial Wizards. Love all the color combinations and the glitter and the jewel for the wands." Which brings us to our main topic, which is Celestial Wizards. And I can show the overlay of the coins in this game. I mean, it's 5 different colors, which is, it seems like every Snag the Tag they're expanding the different variants of the coins. But yeah, you've got, I think they all have different names, but you got the black, purple, red, orangey, and blue. But yeah, the colors, the imagery, like I personally really like the cartoony appearance of it. It has a very a sense of Gandalf a little bit. I'm not so much a fan of the detached hands on the staffs. But no, it's a really nice design. It's a beautiful design for these coins.
It was Ian here that actually inspired me, because there was talks of a little while back that Ian sort of brought me into it as I was running the community, and said, "Look, I'm thinking about running my own game." and it sort of it didn't seem to manifest itself for whatever reason. So, and in one day, we'd had the bump in the night event, and I was presented. I hadn't realised up until the bump in the night event the impact on the community, the UK community that I'd had, and that night on the bump in the night Halloween event, I was actually presented with a glass tankard, which I've actually got sitting here, and this is what they presented. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me move it.
Oh, nice.
That way. There we go. So that was the glass tankard that was presented to me by the community, and then obviously on the back it just says, can't see it too well, no, but it says on the back, it just says thanks from the community, hashtag Scotty doesn't know. And it was a few days later as I sat there looking at this tankard, and I thought, you know, I'd obviously had this impact on the community with like running the game as a volunteer and answering people's questions and things like that. And I thought, how can I repay them back in such a way that it would mean something to them? And I thought, well, I'm sure Mark and Oleg have both said that we can host our own games. So I thought, well, why don't I do that? So I spoke to my two sons and my wife, and I said, what do you think we should do? And they said, oh, why don't you do Wizards? And it just sort of grew from there. I drew a couple of little wizard images. I don't know if you've got those or not, but it was started with a couple of wizard sketches. And then from there, I sent those over to Oak Coins, who sent me a couple of designs back. And the first one we rejected because it seemed a bit too Disney, if you will. They sent back the second one, and we just went with it. And that was back in November. But it takes a long time to get these things moving. But once they came out and the coins were finalised, I was absolutely blown away. And the whole, well, just everything, like the reaction from the community was completely unexpected as well, because when you design your own thing or your own coin, you don't know if that design is going to take hold or if it's going to be a favourite with the community, or if the community going to like it. And you're putting so much time and investment into these things. You know, it's a big risk. You know, is the coin going to be popular? Are people going to like it? Are you going to be stuck with a coin that nobody likes? And you know, so when we sort of showed it off for the first time on the community pages and people went absolutely bonkers for it, we realised that we were going to fall short with regards to sort of disappointment wise with people missing out, unfortunately, because we weren't expecting it to be so big.
Yeah, I do have the video here, and I can show it on the overlay. You shared a video that you know, included some of the initial designs and the progress, and you can kind of see how it changed over time. You got a much more Gandalf-y look in one of them. Sent it off, and then it came back one, yeah, like you said, very Disney-ish look, and then it went back again, and then that's where it came back with the design that you've got now.
That's it, yeah.
And it was a good video that you put together, because it showed that progress, the design progress, and that video is pinned in the UK Snag The Tag group for anybody who's interested in watching it. But yeah, and then just showing the close-ups of each of the coins and the staffs, and that they glow, which is an awesome decision. And then the Travelbug, there's a good close-up of the Travelbug, one of the 4 that you've got, and 2 of them will be given away.
So the Travelbug, to be fair, was a little surprise from Oak Coins. We never actually planned on a Travelbug. The Travelbug was created by Oak Coins for the UK, well, not for the UK, just the UK, but the community as a whole. They came up with that and said, oh, obviously here's this tag. And so that was a nice surprise for us.
Yeah, and it's nice to have that extra as well, because if it's just a coin, that's one thing, but if you've got stuff that goes around related to it, then that's also a good thing. Now, I feel like we need to clear up something. This game is out of the UK. Is it something that's specifically for the United Kingdom, or can it be played worldwide?
Oh no, it is worldwide. So there was a bit of we didn't know how big the game was, or popular the Wizards were going to be. We just didn't know. So we obviously only ran, due to costs, we ran a limited number, and we pre-sold them to the UK first, before slowly releasing them out to the rest of the world. At which point, obviously, they got snapped up within minutes, I believe. But again, we didn't realise how popular it was going to be. And again, the idea behind us, or the UK, as creating this game for the UK, is to show not only just the UK community, but the rest of the communities out there. You know, the German community, Dutch community, Australian community, and of course the American community. You can host your own games. You know, don't wait for Mark or Oleg or whoever it might be at the time to produce a game. Get stuck in there and create your game, create your own. Go ahead and do it. You know, take the plunge. If you've got a great idea sitting there, run with it. You know, and see what you can come up with.
There was an understatement. I know. I went into that to try to look up the hider packs, and I was going to pick up one, and I was trying to decide between which one to get, because there's two you can choose, and then you've got the supporter packs. And by the time I'd chosen one, I went back to it, and it was gone. And then I was like, okay, well, try the other one, and it was gone. And I got a one supporter coin. So I did manage to get one order in, but those hider packs did disappear. And I think one of the questions was because it was available to purchase worldwide, and so it could be hidden worldwide. But I think some people thought that it was only for the UK. It's hard to tell with all this all the talk that's been going on in social media.
Yeah, it was a confusing time for everybody, I think. And I to be fair, we could have made ourselves clearer, and that was a mistake on our behalf. We should have been maybe a bit clearer to everyone. But moving forward, hopefully we can learn and grow on this. And you know, I know there has been discussions with regards to how we can do things in the future and maybe improve things to make sure that the people that would like the coin can get the coin. So obviously maybe looking at pre-sales, things like that. But again, it was for me, and for my partners in the UK who helped create and pay for the coin, it was a massive learning curve, and it's something that's never been done by any community before. This was a first, and we really didn't know how the community was going to take that.
And one benefit of selling out so fast is it makes the coins that much rarer and that much more desirable to have.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to make the decision. Have you thought about or minting more of the same coins for other people to get, or are you going to leave it? Because Valerie says here, tell me about getting hooked. I just hope I can buy a couple extra hider packs if anyone's got extra sets. Otherwise, I'll have to keep watching in my area to find one, as I wasn't lucky to get any. And so, if you didn't get the coin, then you've got to hope that somebody is a hider near you, near enough to find it. And if not, well, then there's only a limited number of coins to get. And even this, would you create more of the hider coins if people want to purchase them, or would you create more supporter coins after some amount of time because people want them, or would you just leave it so that those rare ones will stay rare and be very much desirable?
I'd like to leave it so that they were desirable, but there's also the thought process that where could we do another run of Wizards, but maybe in different colours? There's that thought process. But again, with that, would people then buy them because they've missed out on the previous? If you're only getting different colors. You know, what if you want the full set? There's so many things we've got to think about, you know. And then if we do re-release them, will they then cause more upset because they're no longer rarer to the people that bought them the first time round? There's so many things to consider, and there's so many it's a massive minefield, as it were.
It's kind of like what HQ probably had to deal with when they were deciding to release a new round of virtual caches.
That's it.
For the virtual icons. They were so rare, but then they let everybody hide new ones, and now they're everywhere.
The other one big consideration is if they've got to be re-minted, is where does the money come to pay for it? Because Scott didn't make any money off these. He's done them and paid for them, and he's not making any profit. So it's not as though he's gained any money out of this to pay for another run. So it is another big consideration. It's not a cheap thing to do, is produce a geocoin.
Yeah. Now, in the Agents game, the Secret Agents, they did do another game to introduce a couple other colors. So perhaps there could be a possibility of a Celestial Wizards 2.0 with some extra colors.
There is that possibility. It's something we need to consider, I think.
Yeah. But not for some time down the line.
Not for some time, no. And again, it's obviously the other thing is would I like to hold another game? I don't know, because again, you're then sort of looking further down the line and thinking to yourself, I have other ideas out of the game I have other ideas about other games which, you know, I think might be out of this world. But then you think to yourself, is it going to be as popular next time round? You know, is the design that I've got in mind, will it be as good as the Wizards? You just don't know. And it's always a gamble.
I think there's a level of safety in the fact that there will always be people who want the geocoins.
Yes.
Because they're not just like stickers and cheap little things. They are nice, heavy metal collectible items that just have inherent value because of their rarity. So I think there's always going to be people who will want the coins. Question is, will there always be people who will be hiders for the game?
Yeah, that is the $1 million question, as it were. Hopefully, there'll always be hiders, people that want that coin. And I suppose the bonus, like you say, is with being a hider, is you are guaranteed that coin that you really liked. There's no risk of, I really like that coin, but I'm not going to buy it. I'll take my chances and find it. Yeah. So
you almost have to think, when you're putting them on for sale, that every purchase of a hider pack is 3 coins off of the stock.
Yes.
Because you've got the hider getting 1 and 2 for other people, which is probably one of the reasons why the hider packs sell it. I think, you know, I could imagine there are people who want a hider pack to get the coin, not realizing that they're actually buying 3 and kind of investing in the game.
This is it, yeah. And this is why I think some people sort of bulk at the price when they sort of think to yourself, you're paying $39 for a coin and a tag. Well, actually, you're not. You're actually buying another 2 coins to give out to the other people of the community, which is where it's so expensive. And of course, the reason behind the supporter coins is the supporter coins actually help cover the cost of the coins that have been minted, as it were. So to give you an idea, we had, for the Wizards, it was, let me get this right in my head. I'm just trying to do the math now. So it's 154. It was 900 orange or solar and lunar coins. There was 900, and then there was the 100 of the 3 supporters. So there was 1,200 coins in total. Wow. So 150 hiders packs went up for sale, and then 100 of each of the supporters. But obviously, when you say 150 of each hider, you've got to times that by 3.
Yeah. It's still, and that, I mean, if you know, like Valerie says, it is expensive to make geocoins, especially with the codes. If you've had a personal geocoin minted, you'll know how much goes into having coins made. And, you know, doing the set of coins that you created for this game, that is not cheap. That is a big investment.
And the other thing I don't think people realise as well is that you have to have the design approved by GCHQ. You have to, because if they don't, if you go to all this effort and having it, getting it minted and getting the cast and the die done, and then you present that to GCHQ and they reject it, the mint itself can cost up to, I believe it's sort of $500 or $600 to have the mint cast, and then to have them reject that, you're then sort of going, well, hold a minute, I'm now $400 or $500 out of pocket. So it is a big risk, and it's a lot to take in. But I wouldn't change. I wouldn't, for what I've done, I wouldn't change it for the world. I would love to do it again if I can think of another design.
Yeah, yeah, and as Valerie said, if you're making a personal coin, you know what goes into it. I'm in the process right now of making a coin for Cash the Line, and it is just about to move into samples minting. It's kind of in the blueprint back and forth now, but it is almost out the door. And yeah, coming up with the design, I've been working with Chris Mackey and going back and forth to come up with a design, because he knows what works for a coin, and then those blueprints have to go to the mint, who will also come back and say what works or doesn't and all that. So there's a whole lot of back and forth, whole lot of communication to come up with something that actually works and that you're satisfied with as a design.
That's it. Well, like I say, we started this design back in November, and it wasn't until March, April. It wasn't until March we actually had the final coin in hand, and we were like, we're ready to run, to go with this. Let's do it. So it is a long and drawn out process, but totally worth it in the end. Totally worth it.
If you are in chat, then by all means ask any questions if you want, and then we'll see if they have an answer for it. Or if you're not watching live, then post a comment with a question, and then we'll get somebody hopefully to attempt an answer. When you were promoting this game, were you promoting it specifically? Because I think you promoted it in the general Snag the Tag community, but you focused on the UK. But like, what did you consider for promoting the whole game? Was it geared just like, yeah?
I think I posted it in both communities, but obviously the UK had the heads up beforehand that I had created and obviously produced this game with a couple of others' help. So the UK was obviously sort of 2 weeks ahead of everyone, so they were fully aware of it. And it was just a case of just announcing it in the community and just sitting back and waiting to see what happened. And then obviously that's when it just absolutely took off. I mean, I thought it was popular in the UK. For the UK, we sold, I think we sold around about 100 and... No, sorry, let me get this right. It was... we had 46 players, and total tags total coins was 60 coins, which is our biggest UK game to date, which means we're hiding 120 tags, or potentially 120 tags being hidden. So for the UK, it's our biggest to date by far, compared to what you guys get in America. When you look at the American map, they're absolutely all over the US, all over.
Well, it's funny because when I look at the map with some of these games, it's like Europe, and that area is just plastered with them.
Yeah,
it's like, why can't there be more over here?
Yeah, the Dutch seem to have taken to the game very well.
Yeah,
there are a lot in the Netherlands, a little bit to Belgium, there's quite a few in Germany. But yeah, it is that area does seem to get plastered. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things. Like, if you create a game that people can purchase the hider packs and the coins worldwide, you almost have to include in the promotion that as soon as it's announced that they're on sale, they're going to be gone within minutes, most likely. Because all of the games that I can remember are like that, and I don't think I've ever seen a launch of a Snag the Tag game go without somebody complaining about how fast everything disappeared. You can't get around it.
Like, no, I think from memory,
worldwide.
I think from memory, the first Agents game that I participated in, the Agents sold out within about 10 minutes. I managed to get a Dusk and a Dawn, and then I had a Blue Jay in the basket, and I bought Blue Jay, and then that's when I got a message from Mark and said, "Would you like to swap Blue Jay out for something a little bit more special?" And I said, "Yeah, why not?" And that's when I received the special agent coin. But had I known back then how popular the agent's coins would have been, I would have probably just bought the whole set. And it's only within the last couple of months that I posted on the geocoin community and said, I need these last 3 agents to complete my set. And actually somebody stepped up and said, yeah, I'll sell you the last 3 agents coins. And I managed to complete the set with them. But of course, following that up with Freeze and Burns, from my understanding, Freeze and Burns sold out in minutes compared to the sort of 15 minutes that the first game sold out in. It just goes to show that, like, some coins hold their popularity more than other.
Yeah, and the popular coins, the really nice looking ones, are going to disappear real quick. Like those are sold out in seconds. She also asked, can you get old tags and coins at all? We can probably all say the same thing. If they're gone, they're gone. Yeah,
they've gone, they're gone. You can buy, some people will sell their coins and tags.
Watch eBay.
Watch the geocoin groups on Facebook. Yeah. But to be honest, not many people will, because they've either bought the coins, which they paid for 2 other people to get them, so they want to keep one themselves, or they've managed to get out there and actually find it. And yeah, I mean, in all the time I've been playing, I have found 1 tag. And there's no way that was a Moriarty from the Sherlock Holmes game, and there's no way that I would sell that to anybody, because it took quite a bit to do that to get that one. So,
yeah, and it's like there's 2 factors you got to hope. 1, you've got to hope that there's a hider in your area, and 2, you've got to hope that there isn't somebody else rushing out for the first find.
I think that's part of the pull of the game. And a lot of the people that are sort of finding tags within our community, they're sort of saying, they're going out to find this tag, but they're constantly looking over their shoulder. Is this person in the car behind me, pulling up behind me in the car park? Are they after the tag as well? You just don't know. But unless you get there first, obviously.
Yeah. And like, I was lucky enough at one point, I was away for the weekend, and just on my way home, it's 2 to 3 hours drive, I did a check on the map, and there was a tag there that had been sitting for, 2 or 3 days at least. And it was one of the No More Secrets, and I popped over to grab it, and I managed to find that the tag that goes with the coin. And it was just I was just happy to be able to do that. But yeah, you almost have to look at the map and be ready to jump out at a moment's notice to find them, because you never know.
Well, this is it, and I think where they've Snag the Tag are always up in their game as well. So, Snag the Tag are always up in their game as well. So I always remember it always started off, it was published at this time and this time. So you would set your alarm and sit there and wait, and in 2 minutes later you refresh the page and there might be a tag near you or not. With No More Secrets, as we know, it's completely random, and it just appears at any time of the day, and at any given time you might get a notification on your phone to say there's a tag just been published, you better start going now. And I think it makes it that bit more interesting.
Yeah, like it's nice when the games have a set time, because you can set your alarm and be ready to jump out, but it's almost like you have a better chance if it's entirely random, as long as you're ready to go at any point. Mrs. Weaver had another question. If ones that go missing are found after it's finished, can the coin be redeemed? I had asked that as well in the community, and if you have an answer for that.
The basic answer is no, but it depends on who hid the tag. They may have the coin, or if it's like in the UK, Scott has all the coins for the UK. It depends if he's able to redeem it or not, but the basic is no. After the end of the game, it can't be redeemed.
Do you know then what would happen with any coins that haven't been redeemed by the end of the game?
They're sat in my drawer behind me. It's worrying because talking about redeemed coins and stuff. If you look on the UK map, I believe there's around about 20 odd No More Secrets coins that have been tagged, and out of the ones that are published and have been found, I've only had 7 people email me and actually claim the coin. I get that some people have emailed me and said, look, I'm waiting to find the other one, which is perfectly fine because I can post them both at the same time. But when they get claimed and I don't hear anything, it's worrying because you then ask yourself, the person that's claimed that tag, do they actually realise there is a coin to claim as well? And it's not a cheap coin. They're worth anywhere between £15 to £20, and you wonder if they understand the game fully, or if they've just picked up the tag and they think, well, that's it then, I'm finished. So, but yeah, a lot of the time I do have coins left over where people, and the other thing is as well. Obviously, I'm a volunteer for this. I try and keep the postage low as possible and things like that. And when people sort of say, well, I'm not paying the postage, it's like, well, what would you like me to do? I can't pay to send all these coins out. I'll be broke. If you don't want to pay the £1.65 or whatever it is to claim your coin, I can't. There's nothing more I can do. So I usually end up coins sitting in the drawer behind me.
I think it's generally accepted. It should be generally accepted that if you buy anything, then the shipping is extra.
Yeah.
It's like if you want that, it's not a huge deal to ask to cover the cost of the shipping.
No.
Owen said one of the agents had tags has been out for over a week, and then he missed it by 15 minutes. Ouch. That hurts. That's happened a couple of times to me when I driven up just as somebody else is leaving. Like, no. But after a week.
Yeah. And it's quite surprising, actually. You don't often see tags sit on a map for that long. And I think over here in the UK, as the game's grown more and more in popularity, the tags, where they used to sit there for a while, when obviously we first started out with X amount of players, the tags would sit there for a while. But now you're lucky if they're sitting there for a day or more.
Yeah,
very lucky.
Yeah, yeah, and that's two aspects of time in this game. Like, one, the physical tag you have to find could be sitting out for a long period of time, and then the other one is if somebody's got the tag but hasn't claimed it, or has claimed it but hasn't claimed the coin or something like that. There's that a gap of uncertainty between the tag being hidden and the coin being claimed, and it's kind of this big gray area that you don't know the status of that particular coin, which I think is a good reason to have the claim deadline. But I was just thinking, like, if you have hidden a tag and it hasn't been claimed, and you're maybe a day or two out from the deadline to claim the coin, then I guess what you could potentially do is, you can't claim it if you hit it, but you could potentially give somebody else the code for the tag so that they can, like, just give it to them so that they can claim it, and then at least then the coin won't disappear, won't go into the ether. That could be one strategy.
Yeah.
And then they could decide what to do with the coin, but at least the tag and the coin are out there together and could be purchased or whatever by somebody other than not letting it just disappear by the end of the game.
Yeah.
That's something that came to mind. So you guys made this as a community funded or privately funded effort. Were there we've kind of mentioned a bunch, but were there any specific unexpected hurdles that you had to get past in order to make this actually launch successfully?
I think for the most part it was the, it sounds daft, but it was the minor stuff. For example, the page description. The coin design went through no problem, but when you come into design, when you come into the page description and the names of the wizards, everyone's like, oh no, I'm not sure about that one, I don't want this, I don't want that. let's have this description. No, we don't have that description. That name sounds too rude, and so on and so forth. And that seemed to cause the most discussion over everything. Everyone sort of went, "That's the design. That's great, done." Right. What about the names? And then that was the longest part, and that's where I think the most heated discussions came through was the description of the game and the names of the wizards.
Well, I thought like we mentioned at the beginning, that one name, Mervyn, was a good choice. Were you trying to come up with original names or names that were like throwbacks to other characters people might recognize?
So funny enough, there was talks of I don't know how the way to describe it, but it was like Harry Scotter, things like that, and Mervyn, because one of the guys was obviously is called Murray, who was part of this, and we were going to sort of try and squeeze part of his name in there, and Merlian, as it were, things like that, and then we just couldn't get it to work. So in the end, we came up with the whole Celestial Wizards, because obviously you needed, like as Mark and Olex, you need a backstory. So we came up with this whole planetary idea, and obviously the Celestial Wizards. So the Celestial Wizards are actually named after planetary bodies from around the world. So obviously, well, not but obviously around the galaxy. Sorry. So obviously you've got Solar, which is after the sun, Latin for the sun. Lunar, Latin for the moon. And then you got Antares, which I believe is a red planet of some kind. Cygnus being black planet or black hole. Twilight is purple. I can't remember where we got Twilight from, but anyway, purple. And that's how the wizards came to be.
Yeah, I think it's good to have good names as well, and it kind of makes them personalized, and I don't know, people can, well, like Ian, you've got that whole display case. You can imagine what people might be making for these wizards, custom displays.
Yeah, I have got something planned for the wizards as well, but I haven't got any of the coins, so I have to wait till I get a coin so I can plan, so I can design it properly. So that's a key element, is that I have the coin so it's the right shape.
Yeah.
Just so that the UK community is aware, I have got the remainder of the coins that I was waiting for. I was waiting for the supporter coins and stuff. They arrived today, so I am in the middle of boxing them up. It is a massive, massive task. I've got to sift through the best part of 100 plus coins. I've got to sort the tags out to the correct paperwork. It's a lot involved, more than people realise, I think, and it does take time. And if you don't get it right the first time, it just causes absolute chaos further down the line. So I know America has got their coins already, but thanks to the UK just for being patient while I sift through everything and getting your orders together. I promise you'll have them by at the latest late next week, probably Friday at the latest, but I plan on getting them out either tomorrow or Monday first thing.
Daphne makes a comment that I thought was interesting to bring to light as well, about the ability to, again, being creative with the hide. At the minimum, when you hide a tag, you take the coordinates and you create a listing and then set it for publish. But I've seen that there are people who go above and beyond and create puzzles or instructions in order to find where the tag has been hidden. And so Daphne's comment about a tag that hasn't been found for 45 days or so because it's a puzzle behind a puzzle that's really, really hard.
That's a Dutch one. The Dutch, they take the game to a different level with their puzzles and some of the placements as well. There was at least one's being placed in a tidal area, so you need to know the tides, because otherwise, if you went at the wrong time, it would be several feet underwater. So they've definitely taken it up a notch or two.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, to some extent, I like it, because I think in the early days of the game, when obviously we were getting everyone's trying to obviously get it off the ground, people would run out, they hide the tag, which is great, and then it would publish, and people run out and grab the tag. But now people are starting to take it to almost another level where it's yes, you can find the tag, but first you've got to do this. And I like that interaction between the community and the player. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's one thing just to theme the description around the theme of the game and then hide it, but to actually do, because in geocaching we've got all these different cache types, and essentially up until fairly recently, Snag the Tags have been like a traditional cache. It's at the posted coordinates, but now we're getting things like people being creative and creating unknowns and multi-stages and letterboxes and things like that. But it's still listed, just start at the coordinates, but at least there's more to do, more fun.
Yeah.
I think it can be harder to justify it because, with a cache, it's not one person finding it. It's out there for a long period of time. Lots of people can enjoy all of the work that you put into it. As opposed to Snag the Tag, one person gets to do the whole thing and enjoy it to the final. You might get other people trying to also solve it first, but there's really only one person and then it's done. So it really depends on how much effort you want to put into that one single experience for people.
Yeah. And obviously with... Oh, sorry. What's this?
Go ahead.
I find it? Oh, so
we'll get to that in a second.
Okay. So the other thing I like as well is obviously with these puzzles, the other thing has obviously started to happen within the probably last year, is we've getting people printing these fantastic 3D containers for their tags and stuff, which I think is brilliant, which is another, again, element to the community. We're getting another side, seeing another side to it, all these 3D printers.
Yeah, I've got from the agents and the Templars. We've got a couple of people in my area that do the 3D printing, and they've created containers for those tags as well, which is another great way to do it. And it's a little bonus collectible item as well. So Flower Pot Man has kind of moved us into our next little info piece, which is about instructions for hiding or finding. How do I find out where they're hidden, and do I download a separate app? Well, snagthetag.com is kind of the go-to website, and from there you get the links to all of the games, anything that's active. So you've got a list of all the completed ones, but anything that's active, if you go to that specific game, for example, No More Secrets, it goes to nms.snagthetag.com, and it pops up with all the details about the game, what to find, and you get the world map of where they're all hidden. And that's essentially it. You can turn on tags that have been reported missing or claimed. Basically, everything throughout the history of the game, you can see it. But that's where you would start. As long as you have an account, it'll automatically log you in as long as you turn that option on. It also has a little update at the bottom of the page, which gives you all the recent events that have happened around the world, from people hiding to finding to reporting, all that stuff. So you get the whole history of the game. But that's essentially it. And if you were to view a listing, you were to go to that particular tag page, then you get the details, the name, the description, the instructions, and photos. And we're looking at the one that I found with the log of the person who found it. So it, like, from a playing standpoint, it's really easy. There's not much complexity to it at all.
No, it's really just a case of signing up for a free account. It's free to play. As a hider, it's obviously finder rather. It's free to play. The only cost involved if you choose to become a hider itself. But obviously, if you become a hider, that's great, because it means that you are then growing the game by becoming a hider.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And like you said, it's free to play, other than if you find having to pay for shipping.
That's it.
But yeah, Valerie has also made another good comment. Gadget caches people make and hide them in. See, you don't have to place them. Actually, I think one of the rules is you don't place them in geocaches. But there's nothing stopping you from creating a container, from creating a physical gadget cache and placing that out there, because there's no proximity requirements, guidelines, restrictions. So you can be as creative as you want as a hider to provide that experience to the community.
This is it. Your imagination is the limit. Like as you said just then, that there is no there's almost no limit to where you can hide these tags, as long as you don't place them in a geocache so they don't get mistaken for swag. You can hide them pretty much anywhere. Your imagination is the limit, and hopefully we can start to see some really interesting ones as the game progresses further down the line. I think I have to hand it to the Dutch team, because I think they lead the way with that. If anyone wants to look at the Dutch group hides and what they get up to, it is absolutely phenomenal. I think they put everyone else to shame with some of the very, very, very clever hides. Very clever.
Yeah. So as we start to wind down, we kind of touched a little earlier, but do you have any future plans and ideas for maybe this particular theme? I see. Oh, that was No More Secrets. But do you have like events that can be run, or anything else that you can add to this game, or future plans?
Yes. So we actually have there's a cacher in our group called Claire Thompson, and she's actually holding an event down her end, and the event can be seen on the map. So I would like to hope that hopefully some of the community can make it. I know she's hiding some wizard tags for her event, as well as a few other surprises, and I've donated a hider's pack for her as well to hide. So there would be a minimum around about 10 tags to be hidden at the event, as well as whatever else she's got planned for that. So yeah, you can hold events and do that sort of thing. Yeah.
So that's the summer solstice event.
That's the one. Yep, it's on the map. It's live. Everyone can look at it. They can see it. I think I don't know the full extent of what's going on yet. They're keeping. It's another hashtag Scotty doesn't know kind of thing. They're keeping secrets from me. They've got something planned. I don't know what it is. I'll have to wait and see. Wait for the pictures to come out. It's going to be again.
I've been curious about this as well, because I've seen events pop up and never in my area. Could you maybe touch on what these official Snag the Tag events are and how people can create them, or if they can create them, and how?
It is just a geocaching event. So you would apply normally for a geocaching event in your area. The reviewer would review it and submit it. After you've submitted, obviously publish it after they've agreed to it. And then if you just drop a message to Mark and Oleg at Snag the Tag and say this is the GC code for that event, they will put your event on their map. So it's basically just them sharing your event on their Snag the Tag map. With regards to Claire's one in the UK, she's basing it around obviously Snag the Tag and the summer solstice. And obviously the summer solstice event is because that's when supposedly the I suppose the wizards and the witches and the magic and all that sort of thing is at its peak, as it were.
Mm-hmm. So if there were, because I've seen some events where there's a number of tags that will be hidden for or at the event. So does the cache owner purchase those beforehand, or is it something that is organized through Snag the Tag?
It would. So Ian could probably answer this one better than I could, actually, to be fair, because he's done one of these events.
Yeah, I've done two now, because I did the original Tag Haunt. I ran that as an event, and both of them, I purchased all the coins and tags myself. The Tag Haunt I hid with some help. I think it was 20 tags altogether around southern Scotland, and then held an event on Halloween for people to redeem them at the event, and also put out new caches and Halloween themed caches as well for the night. So there was more than just tags there.
Yeah. So you would have gone on, and because you buy the hider packs, right? So you get one plus 2 tags. So was it a special order then you placed to get that many?
The tag hunt was done as an event idea. So it was the first one, rather than just hiding individual tags and individual hiders. It was, the idea was that it was one person in an area would hold the event, and they would buy all the coins, or maybe a group of people would come together and buy a pack. And that was what I did for that one, which is the first one, which was actually quite a successful event. And then so all the tags were hidden beforehand, so people knew the event was coming up. The tags were all over. The second event I held was the Bump in the Night, which again was a Halloween themed one, just by chance. And that one, again, the packs were sold that you got. I think there was a starter pack that was 5 tags to hide, and then 10 tags, another 5 tags to sell at the event to help make your costs back, to help cover what you paid out. And then there were additional packs that you could add onto it. And for that event, I hid all the tags on the night. They were all put in place beforehand, and then at times during the event, they were published, and people went off and found them. So it's just the 2 different ways of running the.
Right. So if for example, if I wanted to host an event like that, then let's say I wanted to hide 20 tags.
You need.
I would have
purchase.
to. I'd have to place an order and request extra tags.
I mean, if you talk to the guys at Snag The Tag and said, look, when the next game comes up, this is what I want to do, and then they would work with you to sort out.
Earmark a bunch for you.
They'd earmark a bunch for you, more than likely, yeah. So,
okay. So I would publish just a regular geocaching event, pre-purchase all of the tags that I want to hide, and then hide them all before the event, and then have the event for people to find them. They wouldn't. I guess there's 2 ways to do it. One, they could all be published on the website, I guess, if they time it right.
Yeah.
But otherwise.
If I'll interject there. So what you can do, if you wanted them published at a certain time, you can leave a reviewer's note on the Snag The Tag page, like you would any normal geocache, and the reviewer will actually publish the tags at the time that you specify to fit in with your event, rather than just sort of sitting there going randomly live 2 or 3 days later. So you can specify to the reviewer team, can you please publish these tags because it's for an event at this time, and they will put those in that queue and publish them at that time for you.
Good to know. I've always wondered about that.
With Claire's game, which is the one, obviously, the Summer Solstice event, Claire's obviously purchased some tags for the game, and she's going to be hiding her own tags. I'm donating a set to Claire, plus a couple of my own, like sort of out my other packs. So she's going to get a whole pack off me, plus one of each of my packs that I purchased, and then hopefully I'm going to, at some point, I'm going to ask the community if they would like to donate a tag to Claire, and then she can obviously then take all those tags and hide them, and hopefully we can not only sort of spread the word of Snag The Tag to not only the players that are going down there that know about the game, but to other geocaches that are going purely for the event, and then obviously introduced to Snag The Tag as well that may not even heard of the game. So it's a win-win for both parties, really.
Well, we should probably start to wind down now because it's now after midnight your time. Do you have any other final comments or how people can contact you or anything else that you want to share for the community?
Yeah, if anyone wants to join, obviously primarily we are UK, and a lot of the stuff that is primarily UK and stuff. But I did want to mention that obviously I've only been geocaching for 2 years, but obviously discovered woodies. Now, there we go. There's my woody. If anyone would like to DM me and trade woodies, I've got about 100 of these things, and I'd love to get start sort of building my collection of the woodies or anything like that. Like I say, it's just DM me, and I'd love to trade woodies with people if they send me it. Sort of DM me, and we can hopefully come to sort of some agreement, as it were. And then obviously we'll see how the next game goes. If we'll have to have the discussion. I think going back to sort of touching on it, we'll have to have the discussion. Would the community want a remint? Do we go down that route? Do I hold another game? I think I might.
If you can recoup the cost of this one, then you could potentially do it again with.
Yeah, I think I've broken. To be fair, I think it's for me. It wasn't about the money or making the money or the profit or anything. It was about giving back to the community, and that's what I've achieved. And I would absolutely love to do it again. Make something out of this world. It would be brilliant. Who knows? It's. I don't know. Should we say? Let's see what Halloween brings. I guess I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Just the game I was planning that inspired Scott, that is still in the planning as well. It had reasons it was delayed a few times, but it's still there. It's going to come out at some point.
Good to hear.
And looking in the chat, there were quite a few people mention the subject for that one, but I'm not going to say any more than that. They can go back through the chat and find it.
All right, so before we get to the chat giveaway, I just want to give a quick shout out and thank you again to all of the patrons who support Cache the Line. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes into streams like this and traveling and all the work, all the creativity. There's a few things that I'm currently working on that are not cheap as well, so all of that support goes towards all of that sort of stuff. And if you are interested or curious, you can visit patreon.com/cachetheline. There's a whole bunch of tiers. It's basically crowd-funded support, ongoing creative support for creators. And so if you are a patron, thank you. And if you are on the line of becoming one, consider it. On that note, we now have our little giveaway for 2 of those wizard trackable tags. And so we have been collecting that Fasroda. Google it, look it up on YouTube, enjoy the meme. If we bring in that, where is it? There's the giveaway, Fasroda. We have our entries. And let us see, and where did it go? There it is. Click on the draw. Let's see who has won. They need a good sound on this one. I keep saying that every time. They need to get like a clicking thing. We have Geocacher Owen is our first winner. Congratulations for one of those travelbug tags. Travel tags. Trackable tags. There's so many words for them. Let's do another draw for number 2. We have got Julie Brandon. Congratulations. Oh, I don't have the sound. Oh, I need to get my sound up for applause and cheers. Yay! We will be in touch. I will be in touch to get your mailing. Your information for mailing. As long as you have put your geocaching name in chat, then I'll be able to find it and contact you for that. Again, thank you, both of you, for joining and coming tonight to talk about it. I know there was a lot of drama and a whole lot of questions and a lot of discussion when this thing launched. And if you are not watching live or you missed it live, then again, please add a comment, post a comment below, and we'll see if we can address it. Or join that Snag the Tag United Kingdom group on Facebook, and you might get a whole lot of conversation going there.
Yeah,
But,
if anyone does want to join the UK group, all you've got to do is on Facebook just search Snag the Tag United Kingdom, and it will be there. Answer 3 very stupidly random questions about gooseberries and mangoes, and yeah, you'll get accepted in, and you're just welcome to the madhouse.
Yeah. And and again, the main Snag the Tag community as well. You can join that for all of the games worldwide. Lots of discussion and chat going on there, and you might even find some people who have a coin that they're trying to get rid of. You never know. Those rare ones, they're pretty popular. They might be valuable. And as usual, as always, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because there's always stuff coming up. And what else? Where can they find you two on social media? Facebook, obviously. Are you on Twitter, Instagram?
I'm just on Facebook. So yeah, best place to get me is on probably the UK Facebook group. I'm in there. I'm always posting there. I seem to be the only person that posts anything. But if anyone wants to DM me or ask any questions, please feel free. I'll respond as soon as I can.
Yeah. And please remember as well, I'm just going to add, they're doing this for you, for the community, out of their own pocket, their own time, their own effort. Nobody wants to make something that's not fun for people. So if you do have concerns, then respectful comments and questions are always more welcome than angry ranting. So you'll have a much better chance of getting answers to questions as well. So yeah, by all means, contact them, contact community, look for answers. It's all welcome. On that note, Challenge Talk is coming up a week on Sunday, and if you are going to any of the main events in July and August, let me know, post a comment, shoot me a message, all that good stuff. And you can email. Oh yeah, don't forget to sign up for the mailing list, cashline.net/sign up. Sometimes YouTube doesn't notify people of new uploads and new content. So the mailing list, you'll be sure to get any major updates through that for Cash the Line. And tune in at the end of July, last Sunday, which is not July, June, which is, and not Sunday, the last Sunday, June 24th, last Friday, and we'll have hopefully a very good announcement by that time. We'll see how things go. Anyway, on that note, thank you everybody for joining in chat, and you guys for joining. It was great to see you, and keep up the good work. Keep being creative. Everybody loves it.
Thank you. No, thanks for taking the time to have us on your show.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
My pleasure. Glad it was fun. And see you in the next video. As always, happy caching and excellent adventuring.